Hello, everybody, and welcome in. Tonight we have Last Man Standing. This is our February pay-per-view here in the CWA. And next month is going to be one of our big four pay-per-views, Clash Classic. So we have a lot to get into tonight. A lot of exciting matches for that, and some developments going forward. So let's get going. In a pre-show bout that had decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling, David Stone, Gen Z, and the Griffin family defeated Antonio Del Vecchio, Chucky Dorrance, Dapper, Danny Draper, Robin DeLay, and Solomon Gold in 7:17 when Flip Simpkins pinned Chucky Dorrance with a 450-degree splash. Not much to say about this. Just we'll probably just do one pre-show match for all of the pay-per-views going forward, just to kind of mix it up a little bit. Let's get into the show proper. Whew. Yeah, that's really good. Um, and a bout that had great wrestling and good heat. Lauren Easter defeated Brooke Tyler in a last woman standing match in 1956 when Brooke Tyler could not beat a 10 count after a belly-to-belly suplex. Man, I mean, before we even get into the recap, 86, um, first match of the night. Could have easily been the main event. Brooke Tyler, man, 85. Lauren Easter had a 68 too, so not bad. But yeah. They kind of start off the match slow. They're each, they circle the ring, just looking at each other for minutes before they even lock up once. Even once they do lock up, they take their time feeling each other out. Easter hits a hip toss, and they go into the wrestling portion of the match. As they spend the rest of the first half of the match. They just go back and forth in the ring, doing their regular stuff until Easter's on the ropes, and Tyler clotheslines her over the top and follows up with a baseball slide. She starts to bash Easter's face against the announce table. Then she clears it off, and she puts a prone Lauren Easter on top of it. Brooke starts to go to the top rope. The crowd's starting to catch on to what's going on. Adrian Garcia, he's beside himself at this point. He's like, she's not going to jump, is she? But Tyler does just that, and she goes for a massive frog splash, but Easter rolls out of the way at the last moment. Tyler crashes into the table and it explodes on impact. Easter hunches over the ring steps, she's like catching her breath and all that stuff. She realizes that since Brooke isn't in the ring, she's going to have to put her down again. Can't win on the outside in this kind of match. Easter grabs a chair from under the ring. She sets it up in a seated position on the outside. She picks up her opponent, punches her a few times, kind of keeping her loopy, and grabs the franchise and goes to lift her up for a suplex onto the folded out chair, but she tries to get her up once, twice, puts her back down. Tyler spins it around and suplexes Easter onto the chair. Her lower back hits the top of the chair and their shoulders and neck folded up on the seat portion. Tyler picks her up, slides her in the ring, and hits a belly to belly, Easter's own move. A couple weeks ago, there was a multi-woman match, and she teased using it on one of her teammates. But here she hit it. Easter's out on the mat, but at the 8 count, she starts to get up. Realizing she doesn't have her beat yet, Tyler hits her with a series of strikes to knock her back down before going to the outside and looking under the ring, and she pulls out 2 sets of handcuffs. She sets one on top of the apron. She doesn't need 2, but there were. So she brings the other into the ring. She goes to handcuff Easter's hands behind her back, but the boss thrusts her head back. She nails Tyler in the face, and it kind of staggers her. At this point, Easter knows it's her last chance, so she goes wild. She hits everything she has. She's just nailing her with moves left to right, but Tyler answers back with a mean Canadian destroyer out of nowhere. Easter bounces so hard, though, that she lands on her feet, bounces off the ropes, kind of no-sells it, and hits a diving lariat, and then a massive belly-to-belly. Tyler is up before the ref even counts to 5, though. She takes control for a moment and throws Easter into the corner, runs full speed, but Easter drops down and trips her, sends her face first in the middle turnbuckle, and she collapses to the ground. Easter knows now's her chance. She takes one set of the handcuffs that are on the apron and attaches Brooke's hands to the bottom rope. Tyler starts to get to her feet. Technically, at least, she's still kind of hunched over and attached to the bottom rope, but both of her feet are up. Or she's on her feet. Easter grabs the other pair of handcuffs, though, and just kicks Brooke in the head over and over until she's down. And then she handcuffs the other arm to the opposite side of the ropes, the bottom one. And Tyler's physically impossible for her to stand up at this point, and she can't answer the 10 count. Lauren Easter is the last woman standing. 86 man. Got the crowd hotter and got the show off to a strong start, obviously. Man, that's awesome. All right. We see Sean McFly and the Colt boys. They're laughing and having a good time backstage when in walks the Elite. Christian Price lets them know that they're just passing through as the Dynamite Express head to the ring for the match. And he hopes that Sean's prepared for his third challenge because he's up after them. This kind of comes as a surprise to all the faces, but Sean Price tells him that he meant it when he said he was ready to work every show. Good, Price says. Let's hope you can follow my boy's performance. It will definitely be your biggest challenge yet. Segment gets a 73. It was all right. Let's see. Jack the Colt looked good. Worked the crowd well. Ricky was superb, working without a script. Eagle got the crowd hotter. Cool. All right. In a bout that had good heat and decent wrestling, the Dynamite Express defeated Thunder and Lightning in 14:31 when Sid Collier submitted Lightning Lomas with a Texas Cloverleaf. The Dynamite Express make defense number 19 of the CWA World Tag Team titles. The match starts off fast, way faster than the first one, and by comparison. Thunder and Lightning, they come out swinging. They nail Sid Collier with double team moves before he's had enough and tags in his partner. Cam Jones, though, at this point, knows what he has to do, so he starts taking cheap shots at Jason Thunder. At one point, Sid, he kind of distracts the referee, and then Jones goes to hit Thunder with the belt. As soon as the referee's turned around, Jones runs, grabs the belt, he runs back in, just has it kind of cocked back, gonna smash Thunder in the head with it, but Thunder hits a drop kick, and obviously that smashes the belt into Jones' face. It backfires, and they get a near fall. The Dynamite Express, they try a few more ways to cheat, but their opponents have all their tricks scouted. Sid is in the ring, and he realizes that if they're going to win, they're going to actually have to out-wrestle Thunder and Lightning. So the two cut off Lightning Lomas from his partner, and they use their tag team prowess to keep him isolated in their corner. Collier eventually locks in the Texas Cloverleaf, but Thunder goes into the ring and breaks it up. And this proves his team's undoing, though. Jones enters the ring at the same time to kind of break up the breakup. He nails Jason with a running knee, throws him out of the ring, and Sid Collier locks the Texas Cloverleaf back onto Lightning Lomas, and they win the match. Excellent chemistry from Sid Collier and Cam Jones, and they got a tag team specialist bonus. Drake Young did some good work at ringside. Segment gets a 70. Pretty good. Not going to complain about that. All right. In a bout that had great heat and decent wrestling, Sean McFly defeated Derek Frost in 13:08 by pinfall with the DeLorean driver. Only got a 58, but this was the cool down match on purpose. Not sure I need it on a 2-hour show, but I don't think it's gonna, with the way we have the match focus set up, I don't think it's gonna affect the rating too much. So just to be safe, McFly takes it to the larger opponent to start the match, but Frost obviously isn't gonna go down easy. Big man eventually slows McFly down, gets him in a massive bear hug, and then just hurls him across the ring when he's done. McFly gets right back up to go after Frost again, but he's hit with multiple body shots to his already worn down midsection, and that allows Frost to take control of the match. He beats on McFly for a while before getting in a camel clutch. McFly won't tap, though, and instead goes to stand up with Frost on his back. But Derek drops his hips and, squats down with force and crushes McFly back to the ground and just locks in the clutch again. This time, though, McFly is able to muster enough strength to stand up and drop back. And he flattens Frost between himself and the canvas. McFly hits all his big comeback spots, but Frost cuts him off with a kick to the gut and goes for a slam on McFly, but instead McFly reverses it and hits an impressive DeLorean driver on the big guy for the win. Yeah, as planned, the match brought the fans back down a little. 58. Ooh, not a great segment. But Mountie Man enters, and as always, even in his home province, he finds a way to make everyone hate him. He tells the crowd that they've gotten even uglier since the last time he was there. The boos get even louder, and he's getting angry and yelling at, picking out individual fans in the crowd, like kids and stuff like that, and just yelling at them to respect him. Then he says, "I dare you to name me one Canadian wrestler that deserves more respect than me." And all of a sudden, an entrance theme and video start to play that nobody in the arena has heard before. Not even the announcers know who it is. And Mountie Man stops what he's doing and looks up to the ramp. Ugh, not great. Tim Westybrook walks out on the stage. Tim Westybrook. If you want a man that commands respect, you have one right there, Tom Townsend shouts. Adrian Garcia can't believe it, and Davis Diederich gives a brief summary of Westybrook's accomplishments in north of the border and over in Japan. Tim walks slowly and enters the ring, kind of stands there and just soaks up the crowd reaction, doesn't even say a word. It goes on long enough that Mountie Man goes up to him and just kind of shoves him, pie faces him a bit a couple of times before he puts his finger in Westybrook's face and immediately gets lifted up on his shoulders and hit with a huge, kind of like an attitude adjustment, I guess. Westybrook takes in the moment and Mountie Man rolls on the ground in pain. Got in his strongman gimmick got an initial rating of very good, but yeah, just a little backstory. In the default mod, when CWA was formed from joining CGC and North of the Border, Tim Westybrook was probably, I'm going to say he was the biggest name that didn't, from either company that didn't come over to CWA. So he's been in Japan in PHGW for a couple years, and he is back. A little bit older, but got a lot of pop and can still go in the ring pretty well. Good stamina and stuff still. Segment gets a 64. Ugh, we have definitely entered the not great portion of the evening. In a decent match, the Queen's Court, Nadia Snow, Jessica Conroy, and Deborah Young defeated Amber Allen, Zoe Amos, and Aerial Breaks in 11:51 when Jessica Conroy pinned Zoe Amos with a Marvelizer? I don't even know what that is. In terms of ring work, Amber Allen was head and shoulders above everyone else. Excuse me, guys. So the match is kind of based around the Queen's Court. They use their teamwork to isolate the new group. They're just, better at working with each other. So they especially target aerial breaks. Each member of the court takes turns beating down whoever they're in the ring against until Amber Allen is in the same time as Deborah Young. Unlike their match on Wednesday, though, Deborah Young gets the upper hand with her strength, and she wears Allen down to the point that she has to tag in Breaks at the earliest opportunity. Breaks, though, she goes wild. She hits multiple high-flying attacks on Young, kind of chopping the tree down. Can't get her down at first, but eventually, with enough of them, she gets her down, but in a last-ditch effort, she goes for another dive and gets swatted out of air by Young before they both collapse to the ground. They both, at that point, have to, they're crawling, dragging themselves to their corners, and the two women they tag in are Nadia Snow and Amber Allen. They're in the ring for the first time together since Total Elimination now. So they both go all out, but Allen wins the exchange with a backstabber that gets a 2 count. Allen seems to have the match in hand as she drags Snow to her corner, hits a backbreaker, and kind of leaves her laying there across her knee, tags in Zoe Amos, who climbs to the top. She's about to hit a leg drop from the top onto the prone Snow, but the Queen rakes the eyes of Allen, pushes her out, and rolls just enough that there's no one home when Amos hits the mat. Snow pushes Breaks off the apron, smartly, veteran move, and hits Amos with a brainbuster, tags in Conroy. They hit a double team real quick, and then Conroy hits the Marvelizer, whatever the hell that is, and wins. Segment gets a 59. Nadia Snow was really off her game. Color commentary gave match boost. Yeah. Nadia Snow, I keep getting the emails and stuff of workers saying that, she's money, give her promo time, but we just kind of hover around that 58 to 60 range for everything she's in. Not ideal. Let's go ahead and move on, though. Ooh, nice. A this is basically just Steve Colt. Samuel Curran would try to get a word with him on Wednesday on the last episode, and he was just too busy with everything going on. So he's finally getting that word. And as it says right, here on the screen, I just tried to point at the screen like you guys could see that. Steve Colt announces next week's card. So Samuel Curran just kind of asks him, you had mentioned Skip O coming back, you had mentioned all those things. So Steve DeColt runs over some of the matches we're going to have. And since I am a very unprepared person, it's going to take me 2 seconds. So we're going to have the DeColt boys defeat the versus the Montreal Mafia. And we're going to have Sean McFly's second challenge as well. Or second to last challenge. Guys, I'm sorry. I was obviously unprepared for this one. And we'll also have Skip Bo. He's going to speak. And we might have a few more surprises up our sleeves, guys. I mean, Tim Westybrook showed up tonight. What else can really happen? Who knows? But yeah, Steve DeColt looked good as always. The angle got the crowd hotter, which is good because we're going into our main event. And I promise I am more prepared and not going to stumble over my words quite as much for this one. Drum roll, please. I wish we could have spread some of these ratings out over the past few weeks because, man, we would have been gaining some pop. In an exceptional match, Cameron Vesey defeated Aaron Knight in 1933 by pinfall with a Vesey Driver 2. And the segment got a 90 freaking 6. Yeah, I played like TCW saves and like plenty of saves where I had, quite frankly, just ridiculous rosters with tons of wrestlers and stuff. And it's still, man, a 96. That's like in the real world, I don't even know, like 4 3/4 stars. That's like damn close to being a 5-star match. Damn. Yeah. Definitely going to have a good rating on the show, but maybe I will stumble over my words because I'm just kind of shook by how good that is. The two main eventers, they go at it right away and hit a massive flurry of moves in the first few minutes. And about 5-minute mark, Aaron Knight hits a Nightfall out of nowhere. And it's just too early, though, as Vesey kicks out, albeit it's at the last possible moment. Knight continues to stay in control until he goes for a back body drop that Vesey rolls into a sunset flip powerbomb. Vesey pops to his feet. He jumps up and stomps right on Knight's abdomen. Kind of like a mini coup de grace type thing. And then grabs him around the waist while he's still down on the ground and hoists him up off the mat and hits him with a huge, like the deadlift gut wrench suplex type deal. Vesey then slows it down from there and shows off his technical skills. He contorts and slams Knight in all kinds of ways, and every time A-Game looks to get back into it, Vesey has a counter for him. Vesey starts to hit his rolling German suplexes that he's known for. He hits the first, swivels his hips, rolls over, and hits Knight with another. Does the same thing, and then goes for the third and final one, this time releasing Knight. And amazingly, the big man, Aaron Knight, the heavyweight, flips all the way over and lands on his feet behind Vesey. Vesey turns around and catches a spinning back fist to the face. Looks like he's out right then and there, but Knight doesn't go for the cover because he knows better. He hits Cameron with multiple throws and drops and then hits a fall-away slam for a 2 count. So at this point, he thought he had enough to get him, but he hasn't yet. So he gets Vesey back up to his feet and is caught with an uppercut as he's standing them up. So the two go back and forth, trading strikes. Vesey lands the last blow, though, sending Knight back into the ropes. Aaron bounces and rebounds back and hits a second Nightfall. But almost too smoothly to even notice, the tip of Vesey's foot reaches out and hangs over the ropes right before the ref's hand hits the mat for the 3 count. Like, I'm talking just the little sliver, like the little outline of his boot is over it. Knight he's beating the ground with his fists in frustration. He's so frustrated at this point. He has hit him with 2 Nightfalls. He's come back multiple, from getting beat down, and, he talked a big game. So, he knows. He carries on. He throws Vesey into the corner. He lands a few shots, few gut shots, punches him in the face a couple times, and seats him on the top turnbuckle. And then he starts to climb up to the top. He stands Vesey up, and they're both standing up on the top. Is he going to try and hit a nightfall from the top? There's no way Adrian Garcia shouts, who's, you know, between this and the Brooke Tyler spot, he's going to have a heart attack tonight probably. So Knight's getting him up for the nightfall on the top, but Vesey slides right between his legs down to the ground, kicks the rope. Knight loses his footing and he crotches himself on the turnbuckle. He's obviously in reverse position. He's facing towards the crowd. So Vesey climbs up and grabs Knight, hits him with a huge avalanche German suplex, and then immediately, as soon as he gets down, follows it up with a Vesey driver too. And he beats Aaron Knight for the first time in his career. Aaron Knight, he just won the #1 contendership at the Total Elimination. He's got a match coming up with Christian Price at Clash Classic. Guys, I can't talk. Clash Classic in a month. And he just lost for the first time to his biggest rival. And, kind of talked a big game. Went out there, he tried to save Skip Bo. There's been quite a bit that's been going on this past month. And, even with all that motivation, he didn't get it done when it mattered most. So, we're going to have to see how things go from here. But, I don't know about you guys, but I'm really excited to see this show rating. If we don't get a pop increase this time, we might just quit the whole show. Kidding, but let's go. 88, but it increased our popularity in one region. We would have gained popularity in 6 Canadian regions, but growth was restricted to the limited numbers of viewers there. So I don't even get how we increase our pop, because it won't let me get a better time slot for events or TV, because I guess we're not pulling in good enough ratings. But then we do pull in good enough ratings and we can't get our growth, we can't grow in those regions, which means we can't get our pop up and then get the better broadcasting deals. I'm stoked it's an 88. That's a really good match, and I'm all hyped for everything, but that's frustrating, y'all. That we pulled that, 10 points higher than most of our shows have been, and excuse me, guys. Still barely anything. So back to the drawing board on that one, I guess. Maybe I'll look into the actual read me the little game instruction thing, and see exactly how the broadcasting deals work, and if there's anything that we can do to change that, because that's kind of frustrating. But we move on, and we have cool stuff to look forward to. So we'll see you next time. It'll be the first week on our build to Clash Classic, and we have a lot going on. So we'll see you then, guys. Thanks for watching.